All right, we are recording. Volume is on. Screen is on. Let's take a look at what we're doing here. So, as I just told the class that's in here, everybody, we are going to talk about exams for review of Module 1 exam and the pathway forward for any of those that met challenge on the exam. So the purpose of this video is to talk about what to do if it did not go your way. What is the pathway forward from here? Let me put the HDMI cable in real quick. I want first to say to everybody that what we are about to discuss and talk about, we are doing so not as a form of punishment, but simply to inform you that this is the way an EMT class goes. It's the standard of the academy that it go this way. So we're going to discuss what happens if you did not make 76 or greater on the exam. Okay? For most of you on the exam, I heard that you did really well and you studied your butt off and it was tough, but you felt prepared because of the study material, because of the study guide that you received, and one of you even made 100. I think there might be 2 100 class, but we certainly at least have one person who made a 100 on the exam. As an educator, if you're looking at that, what do you think of that information? You don't just clap and celebrate the person who made 100. You look at their success and you weigh it upon the rest of the class. What did the class do as an overall? Was this a good exam or a bad exam? That's the question I have to ask myself. And these exams that you're currently taking are the ones that have been tried and tested over time. That's how they made it to you. So I want to remind everybody that the exams are not made to beat you up, they're made to prepare you. I want to remind you that if you pass our exams, overall you go through the course, you continue to pass our exams, your success rate at National Registry is proven. People who pass our class also pass certification. The people who do not pass our class will not pass certification. You know that in statistical outcomes. Is there a chance you could squeeze by and beat the system? Maybe. We don't see that. Everyone that we've put forward in this class to National Registry, when we had data to show evidence, out of the goodness of our heart, those people do not certify. They go on to remediate. They take the exam 6 times. The exam has been failed in National Registry, and they must take a class. So is that integrity-based for us to do that to a student? I argue no, it's not. We simply must catch you here, inform you so that you can make good choices, whatever those choices may be, and then you go on to do better. I would hope that the choice would be, hey, you didn't do enough, it didn't go well, so it stops right here, and you do better, or you leave the class. That is what I hope happens. And that person says, oh, okay, he was right. I've really got to do that, I'll be better. That's what I hope happens. In review of the student handbook, I want to remind you, and this seems like a negative talk, but it's not. Most of you did well. This is simply to inform you. And I want to prepare you so that when I hand you a counseling form, you don't feel like we're beating you up. We're just following the protocol, okay? We're not beating you up. So the course requirement is that students must score 70% or better on the ASHE. We had HA, which was an 84% or better, and all of you did score 84% or better. Some of you scored a 100. Many of you scored a 100. So that is over. You beat that. And then you must have a 76% or greater on each module exam, and I told you it should be 80. I told you 80 because if you do 3 module exams, you make 76, 76, 75. That 175 module exam, because it carries so much weight, will be the reason you can't continue with the class. So you can't shoot for 76. You've got to shoot for 80. Am I going to drop a person at 80 or less? No. Do I enjoy dropping? Do we do that? No. We're going to exhaust the entire protocol before we drop somebody. Normally people drop themselves because we're not going to intentionally drop you. We are going to exhaust the protocol though. Okay? What is the protocol? 76% or greater on each module exam to remain in the course. In addition, students must keep an overall grade point average of 76% throughout the entirety duration of the course for anything that I have prescribed as being necessary. That might be writing assignments, acronym exams, medication exams, quizzes on JBL. I could require you to do all of the homework, which I currently don't. Depending what the overall class success rate is what we'll choose how that looks going forward. If the class as a general looks like they need work, it will become the requirement. Does that make sense? Okay? So 76% across the board or 76% on a module exam. Technically speaking, this is a go, no-go class. Now, military folks get what that means. There are lots of things in the military that are go or no-go. You either did or you didn't. So if you didn't make 76% or greater on the module exam today or yesterday, you are a no-go. And everything extended to you from this moment forward is an exception to the rule of the goodness of our hearts. Does that make sense to everybody? So if you didn't make a 76 or greater, I'm going to say to myself, this is the first module. And maybe we need some time to settle into the class. And I'm going to hand you a clinical counseling form, an education counseling form that says, you didn't hit the mark, we're going to carry forward, here's your pathway forward, this is what you told me you're going to do to make sure this is successful for you, we're going to carry on. But that you understand that having not made 76 grade on the module exam, you've done in the class, so that it's not a surprise. Does that make sense? This is not to beat you up, it is to inform you so that you don't feel blindsided, you don't feel like we didn't tell you where you stood. Does that make sense? Alright, so what does that look like for the people who weren't immediately successful? By the way, most of you were, so again, it's not relevant to a ton of you, but it is relevant to some. Here is the counseling form. It literally just says your name, my name, we talked, we sat down, and I literally said on module blank. Student handbook page blank says this. You must score this going forward. You sign it, I sign it, you hand it back to you as a copy, and I get a copy. Does that make sense? Please don't feel punished. Simply us saying, discuss it, not blindsided. Know where you stand in the class. Okay? What I do want to say is that I'm not dropping you 7th grade on module 1 exam. What I am going to do is go review how much time you spent in JBL. What I am going to do is review your 5-point plus study guide that you turned in. If all of that work is minimal on this sheet of paper, it would say on module 2 or less than 76% for an automatic. I will not play games with those who aren't doing work. I will, though, extend myself to the umpteenth degree those who I feel are putting every class and just not quite getting it. Okay? This takes time to learn the testing modality, how the test works, not to second guess yourself, how to take exams in themselves. Maybe you haven't done that. So for those people, you've got my time, you've got my commitment. Those people who spent their module exam study time started last night at 2300, you will get final notice for module 2. Does that make sense? And I feel like that's only fair. And you know who you are. From the very beginning of the class, I made it very clear this was really tough, and it was going to take a lot of time. And if you don't have that time, there's no judgment for you. Because I don't have time to do lots of things I want, so I get it. But don't treat yourself less than you should. Don't treat me less than you should. No, this isn't going to work for you. You don't have that time, or you're not going to give that time. Go ahead and shut up. Because it's only going to get worse from here. Okay? It only gets worse from here. The material gets worse, but the testing should get better. You guys are going to start seeing these questions more than once. That's helpful. As we move forward, you're going to begin using the test prep feature where you're building your own exams prior to the module exam. It can't get better than the amount of stuff we do to prepare. But are you using it? Do you have the time to use it? Are you waiting until Sunday? Are you waiting until Sunday to start the module guide review? A lot of you are. If you did that, if you're a me, and you cram, and the next day you make I got nothing to say to you. I don't have any of it question your process if you made great. Those who didn't, I own your process. And if you follow what I say, you'll be successful. And if you don't, this form will speak for itself. Does that make sense? Please don't be discouraged. Be encouraged. If you made less than a 76 and you put it all in, and you're like, I don't know what happened, remain calm. You're going to stay, and we're going to work on it. You're going to be okay. You are the person who didn't put this work in for the weeks we've been in Module 1. Make a decision now for yourself. Don't make me do it. You okay? I'm the bad guy for a lot of people in this area simply because I exhausted the process. You know who you are. So tell me, who you are. The person who gets me to sit down with you and do a one-on-one, I'm all in. You're the person who waits till Sunday to do all of this work, get out. Just leave. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. So, for those people who didn't do as well as they want, remain calm. You're not going anywhere just yet. It probably would be easier for you. Some of y'all have told me, I would rather you just tell me so I can get out of here. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try to hold on to you to the best of my ability. So, there's that information.